climbing wall, right? This is like crypto. Let's copy this across into the, again, another idea I just had, right? Each new primitive is a new zombie on top of the last one. And none of the zombies really actually are ready to get over the wall until they get to the final version, right? And then, you know, everyone wins. But for example, so this is, imagine this pile here is, this level on the wall is, this is Uniswap, right? This is decentralized exchanges. That was the top of the food chain where the money was to be made. But then Telegram trading bots come out and they're up here. And that's the thing that's big. And then Unibot drops 80%, and now it's decentralized exchanges maybe. And then maybe after that it's something else. And then finally you get to the top of the wall, and that's the final iteration, the final main winner that has a moat. Okay, I hope that sort of makes sense as a as a funny way to explain crypto, right? It's just constant stepping stones until something achieves mass adoption and becomes the standard. So, for example, Bitcoin. There was so many digital cash projects that came before Bitcoin, and they were all necessary stepping stones until we actually had the standard number one that hasn't been dethroned. So again, why do projects go out of fashion so quickly? Well, without a sustainable token value accrual mechanism or a genuine moat over your competitors, market share moves quickly between protocols. Because crypto is just a big casino, right? Users will just put their money where they think they're going to make money, and they're not loyal. They're not loyal, sorry. Users are really not loyal to platforms. If they think that there's a better platform, a better coin that's going to make them more money, they'll fucking go there. They really don't care. So the moats don't really exist because, for example, if you buy Apple instead of Android, the moat is, man, it's really hard to move all of my data and photos and stuff across to, Android, Samsung. Samsung's different to use, so I got to figure it out. There's all these new apps that I don't know. Man, it might not be as safe. I can't use AirPlay anymore. I can't AirDrop. I don't know if I want to swap to Samsung. So there's a moat, right? In crypto, what's the difference between using Uniswap and SushiSwap, right? What's the difference between using this or this? There is no difference. I just press enter app or enter launch app, and I just connect my wallet. There's literally zero difference. It's the same fucking website, right? Buy this much ETH. Buy this much ETH. It's the same shit. So the moat doesn't exist, and that's why volume, users, attention moves so easily, because there's very, very rarely a genuine moat. The only moat that really existed was centralized exchanges, because it took a long time to get your account verified. So I'll sign up to Binance, and I will only be signed up to Binance for at least a couple of years, because I couldn't be bothered to do the KYC for Coinbase. I didn't want to take a selfie of myself holding a piece of paper saying for today's date and holding my license plate. I don't want to wait a week for my account to get verified. I don't want to have to figure out a new centralized exchange. I don't want to have to connect my bank account again. There was actually a moat with these centralized exchanges. And that's why a token like BNB stayed in fashion for so long, because it was just continued to be the winner. It had a genuine moat. It just continued to win. It took over the entire market, and it stayed that way for a long, long time, right? Let's put this onto logarithmic so you can see this better, right? BNB from 2018, even 2017, it survived the bear market, and it just continues to perform well. So you can see here that there was a genuine moat, and that it traded much more like a stock, or like a something in the traditional markets, versus fucking Uniswap, where it's like trash. Now, another example of how non-existent moats are is OpenSea. So OpenSea had all the volume, it had all the users, it was the NFT exchange. But then Blur came along, and in a few months it took 80% of the market share. So for example, here's a graph. Here's the total ETH volume of OpenSea and Blur. You can see that Blue was OpenSea in when's this? October 2022. Within 1 week, Blur had the same volume as OpenSea. Now, a lot of this was I guess you could call it farming volume, wasn't real. But you can see that even now in March 2023 till April, this data is a little bit old, but you can see that even now, and this is still the same for today, Blur has majority of the volume, right? Blur's winning. OpenSea's toast. The OpenSea has lost majority of its user base to Blur. Now, why was this? Why did this happen? How could a company the size of fucking billion-dollar corporations lose 80% of its users in a few months? Well, Blur launched one of the first airdrop as a user acquisition campaigns in crypto. You basically use the Blur platform instead of OpenSea, and you receive points for an airdrop. And that's all it took to beat OpenSea. This is why finding 0 to 1 primitives, stuff that has never been done before, is where the big money is. So for example, this is not a new technology, but this was a new marketing approach. It was a 0 to 1 primitive marketing approach, which a lot of projects now use, which was creating a points program where if you use us and you don't use our competitors, we will give you free money, basically. And the reason that works in crypto is because we're all just here to make money. So you have to gamify your app. You have to gamify everything about crypto to bring the users in, right? Oh, I don't want to have to launch a token with my project. Too bad. You need to make your users rich. You need to make them feel like using you is going to make them more money than using someone else. Because at the end of the day, the only useful thing crypto is used for is speculation, trying to make or keep your money slowly growing. So what OpenSea failed to do was realize, oh, maybe we should make a token and make our holders, users rich. Because they didn't make their users rich, they all went to the platform that was going to make them rich. And the platform did. Blur gave away, I don't know how much, maybe $50, $100 million or more away to their users. Why? Well, they beat OpenSea, so why not? So 99% of projects die off. 99% of projects are replaced by competitors. 99% of sectors fade into oblivion, replaced by new booming sectors. So you must always stay at the bleeding edge to outperform the market. You always got to be one step ahead. So for example, it's December 2023. Monad is not out yet, but I see that Monad's going to be the next big layer 1 coin. I'm in the Discord trying to get a high rank so I can potentially get an airdrop there, right? I'm positioning myself 6 months before the token's even out, maybe 3 months, so that I'm ready, right? I know that the next big sector is going to be parallelized EVM. You can see that with C pumping. I think the next one's going to be Monad. So I'm ready and positioned. If your main circle isn't discussing restaking as a crypto economic primitive, LRTs, see, I don't even know what that is, parallelized EVM, then it's time to elevate your circle. So, if you're hanging out in groups where the people are talking about buying Uniswap, or they're talking about buying Link or Ripple or Cardano, you have to understand these people are totally behind the market. They have no fucking clue what they're doing. They missed all the latest primitives that are where the money is being made. And if you're not in the right circles, you need to elevate your circle. Like this guy's saying, you got to get yourself around the places that are talking about the latest trends, the latest primitives, or you're just going to underperform. So you make money in crypto by buying something very few understand and selling when everyone understands it. Another way to say that is buy low, sell high. Buy fear, sell greed. Buy when there's not many people using something, sell when everyone's using it. Buy in the bear market, sell in the bull market. All of these expressions convey the same thing, which is buy early and sell late. So, buying a new primitive would be like buying the first proper digital cash, Bitcoin, at $10. Buying the first smart contract platform at $2. Buying the first Telegram trading bot at $15. Every new primitive has barely anyone in it, and it has the potential to take over the entire market. If your project is in a new, small, and promising sector that most of the market hasn't learnt about yet, you're in a good position. Okay? So, this course is obviously supposed to be useful for a long time. So you might be watching this a year from now, and these trends are probably old by then, right? Because 3 years ago, if I told you, OpenSea was the next big thing, you'd go, yeah, I know, like, wow, this thing's really popular, this is the next big thing. I tell you that now, Uniswap's the next thing, you'd go, no, Uniswap's old, like, it was big like 3 years ago. So I tell you now, this is what's trending. In 12 months from now, it's probably not trending. It's probably old, okay? But this at least is, as of December 2023, the next sectors. So Monad is going to launch in a few months. I think that's going to be a really promising coin. They're building a cult. It's in a new sector, right? This new idea of building the Ethereum virtual machine parallelized, so like a highway, right, with multiple lanes. That's at least the basic understanding of what I have of it. Modular consensus, a new consensus mechanism with Celestia. Social trading, so Friendtech, who knows if that'll come back. BRC20, so, inscriptions on the Bitcoin blockchain, NFTs on Bitcoin, all this sort of stuff. And I think there's going to be an emerging trend of these decentralized compute platforms, not computer platforms. That's meant to say compute. So you can buy and sell compute on a platform. For example, Jensen. Jensen's a token that's going to come out soon. I can't tell you how I'm involved with this one, but I am well involved in a certain way with my mastermind. Can't mention how I am, but basically it's a protocol that unites compute in a global supercluster, which can be accessible to anyone at any time. Right? So you can supply compute or you can access compute. It's just the marketplace. I think that's going to be also a new trend because AI, obviously a big sector for this bull run. This is sort of a new primitive in a way. There's obviously other projects. It's not the first one, but it's still a new sector. Okay? So I think that's everything. To summarize, one of the best ways to outperform the market is to always stay at the bleeding edge of innovation and to find and buy into new primitives in one of the first or second iterations, one of the first or second good iterations of a new primitive, and hold as the market realizes and catches up to this new thing that you've found. So you must always feel like, in order to outperform, that you've found something that most people are completely unaware of. You should run your thesis by most people and have them completely ignore it. If you tell people this is the next coin and they'll say, yeah, I agree, you're probably too late. If you tell everyone there's this new primitive, no one knows about it, I think it's going to be big, and they'll ignore you and they're like, you're an idiot, you're in a great place. Because it's that growth from everyone ignoring it and fading it and not understanding it, not knowing it, to everyone understanding it, knowing it, not fading it, etc. It's that period of growth where the upside is. That's how you outperform the market. Okay? So you need to find the next Telegram trading bots, the next crypto casino that launches derivatives trading. You need to find the next bridge between BRC and ERC. The next primitive. And that is a great way to analyze a project. If you find a project and it's in a new primitive, you can tick off that on the fundamentals list. Okay? I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.